We start with the brief introduction. Uh, I hope you have forgotten everything because many of you who are sending me messages over the WhatsApp and replying them individually is good, but I thought let's share it today here again. The secret sauce of passing the project management exam or PMP exam is you need to clearly understand what you're doing. We have discussed during our trainings that how to answer the questions, how to eliminate the questions, answers, how to eliminate options of those. So you are 100% sure or have guarantee that why you have eliminated that option. So if one question have four options, so if one option is not applied, you should know why it is not applied. You must never select the answer based upon your preferences. I think it feels good, so I can answer it. It's not going to work like this. It's like throwing yourself in the hell from where it will be very difficult to come in. So please focus while you are answering the questions. Another thing, I will repeat it again at the end of the session. Please stop solving the chapters question. You are not supposed to solve any chapter questions. I told you to start solving domain questions and full exams. That's it. Chapter questions was enough for the knowledge, but we need to find out time, time relevant for the exam, so you can appear in exam as soon as possible. It's exactly like this that I told you my computer is not working or my computer is not responding. And instead of fixing my computer, you are fixing my keyboard. I didn't call you to fix my keyboard. It's working and I know it's working. I call you that my computer is hanged or it's not working or something. Or I ask you that my car is not starting. And instead of checking the car, you are checking the car wiper liquid. It's exactly like this. So I asked you to solve the questions for domains. And you guys are solving the questions for chapters, which is totally wrong. It's good for a practice, but in domain, it's covered because exams will be coming from domains, not from the chapters. So please skill this thought. And I think in many of the trainings in the beginning, I told you, please always remember exam will come from exam content outline from exam book. So please kill your methodology of college and university that you have to prepare chapter by chapter. We are not going to go here chapter by chapter. We are going to here by domain with the exam domains only. So let's not waste more time and let's start with the topic. Sorry. So let me give you the first time introduction of it. So we will go for the business environment, then we will go for the process domain, and then we will go for the people domain one by one. So it will like 3 hour session almost. 1 hour each you can sit, and in every chapter I have placed the questions after every task. So when you are solving it, you have enough energy and you have enough courage to set an exam also. So let's begin. Your mics are muted. If you need to say something, I'm looking at the chat window all the time. So you can just send me in the main chat, please, because if you will be sending the messages in the separate chats, then I will not be able to see. And I will, those who have not renamed them, please rename yourself so I can know who you are. And that's how we can maintain the discipline. So the morning my voice is not working. Okay, so first thing first, I was explaining to one of the, I will not name anyone, and I think I have explained to many of the people when you are solving the question in simulator, focus yourself in the way that you should know what is the role of project manager in predictive, in adaptive, in hybrid. What is the purpose of each meeting? What is the purpose of terminologies? What are the constraints? And what are the functionalities? So if you do not know that and you are going to solve the questions, you will be literally in trouble. So that's why first I prepared a small layout with few slides just to give you the heads up, and then we can start with our business environment domain first. So first we'll start with the principles for predictive, adaptive, and hybrid. So when it comes to the predictive project management, we need to understand the project management principles for predictive, for hybrid, and for agile. What these principles are, they are covering our plan-driven life cycles, iterative life cycles, incremental life cycle. Now let me give you the information again because maybe you have forgotten. When we say adaptive life cycle, we use it when scope of work is not clearly available, but we do have the vision of the product. Iterative life cycle, we will do the work in iterations, collect the feedback, improve it, and fix it. And once everything is completed, then we'll start working on the next one. And then next one. This process will continue and end product will be available at the end. That was our understanding. Incremental will be releasing minimum viable product after every iterations and then improving based upon the feedback. Agile life cycle, we have fixed time and fixed cost in a constrained time. It could be iterative way of working, like we have fixed iteration, or it could be Kanban way of working, which is called as on-demand scheduling. So if requirements are fully available upfront, we go with predictive life cycle, waterfall approach. If they are not available, then we go with progressive elaboration, or we can go with adaptive life cycle. If some are available upfront, so it's better to go predictive. And for the unknown requirements, we can go adaptive. That's what we call it hybrid. And in that particular situation, project manager get product owner working under project manager. So product owner is answering to project manager in hybrid. So project manager is the decision maker. In predictive, project manager is the decision maker, and in hybrid, project manager is the decision maker. In adaptive, product owner is the decision maker for the project. Decisions related to the project, product owner will be working with the stakeholders to make the decisions. So the core principles of predictive project management is, because it's predictive, you are accountable, right, to meet the project scope. Sponsor is accountable for the project success. Project manager is accountable for the scope of work. So you should be able to complete the requirement. In predictive project management, project manager will work with the stakeholders and get the requirements to prepare the scope of work. They will do facilitation, they will do interviews, they will do brainstorming, they will do nominal group technique, they will do observations, they will do prototyping, they can use context diagram. By using as many collect requirement techniques, they will be able to prepare a document called as requirement traceability matrix, which ensures that every requirement which is collected is actually complete. Complete means consistent, acceptable to key stakeholders, and unambiguous also. So in the same thought, once we collect a requirement, every requirement should have a business objective and every requirement should accompanied by the test cases, final cases requirement. We do not take any requirements without acceptance criteria. Similarly, we check the relationships of the phases and life cycle. So what is project life cycle? Collection of phases which completes a project. It could be different number of phases in different projects, and in each phase we go with our process groups, or nowadays they are called as focus groups, that in each phase we'll perform some initiating, some planning, some executing, some monitoring and controlling, and maybe some closing. We have to be proactive project managers, so we have to identify the risk as early as possible. How those risks will be identified, what will be the probability and impact metrics, that will be defined in a document called as risk management plan. And we will also evaluate our strategy, that how frequently we'll be evaluating our risk management plan. We need to get approved version of our detailed planning. Detailed depending on the type and size of project. It could be very detailed, or it could be based upon high level analogous estimations or rough order magnitude, or it could be very detailed by using WBS and bottom up estimations. Once all the requirements are collected, then we'll be able to produce the scope, which contains the project acceptance criteria, project exclusion criteria, and if value delivery is applied, then we can also make the better results of the project. So we have to baseline it. And for baseline, we have to set the governance. Governance means we have to prepare change management plan, that how the changes in the project will happen, And configuration management plan, how the changes in the product and their artifacts will be updated. Who will be approving what type of changes? So we have change requests coming because of missed requirements, because of updated requirements, because of government regulations, because of defect repairs, because of corrective actions. And we have decided, or as per the PMI, project management principles, we must update baselines only by following the change control system, where stakeholders will submit the change request that will be going into the change log. Project manager will evaluate it. If it aligns with the project, it can be accepted or rejected. If it aligns with the project, it means it has to be further examined that how this project change request will impact the project constraints, which are scope, schedule, cost, quality, risk, resources, and submitted to the change control board, who could approve, reject, or defer the request. Normally, change control board is led by a sponsor, so their decisions will be considered as final. Otherwise, change control board decisions will be sent to the sponsor, and then they will be able to approve or reject or defer. Whatever the outcome, project manager has to update it in the change log, communicate to the stakeholders, and if it is updated, provide the updated baselines to the execution team so they can perform deliverables, production, and new ways of working or with new requirements. So these are some very high level information to bring yourself on the same page. So we have 5 process groups initiating. The purpose of initiating is, I would request all of you to please participate. Otherwise, you will start feeling bored while you are sitting. So please participate. And I requested earlier, if as many of you can open the cameras, go ahead and open your cameras so I can see your confidence level. And please answer the questions on the chat window so you feel connected. It's not like I'm doing a webinar, I'm the only one who's speaking. So you should also collaborate with me. So, what is the main and sole purpose of initiating process group? What objectives we achieve by initiating the project? When we perform initiating, what objective is achieved? Answer on the chat window, please. One word. I don't need a lot of details. I don't need a whole sentence. Just one word. The purpose of initiation or initiating process group is, what is the purpose? I have not yet correct answer yet. All of you are just throwing the random guesses, and this is the result of disconnection that you guys have been doing it while you were preparing. Means none of your answers are matching what I explained. I think I spoke multiple times, but it's not even coming near to that. The purpose of initiating is planning. The purpose of initiating is scope. MashaAllah. So I think I did a good job to initiate this class so you guys can do some results of self-evaluation where you are standing. The purpose of initiating is to get commitment, not identify stakeholder guys. Commitment to get authorization, a written commitment that yes, we will do the project. And based upon that, this is the objective we will achieve in this process groups. And outcome of this initiation is we will get the project charter. Okay, let's ask this question. What is the main purpose of project charter? What is the most important thing mentioned in project charter? If you will define a scope in project charter, then what you will do in planning? If you will set deliverable in charter, then what you will do in planning. So look, you guys are missing the most important part of the project charter. It contains high level details, but the most important project manager is assigned by name and authority. Project manager is assigned by name and with authority. So that is the purpose of project charter, which is approved. You are the project manager. So based upon the organization you are working, functional, projected, or metrics, functional, projectized, or metrics, your authority will be decided that you are working in weak metrics, balanced metrics, or strong metrics if you are in metrics, or you will be projectized, or you will be in functional as an expediter. So in functional, it's expediter; in metrics, coordinator, and heads, project manager, and projectized normally. Once we have the level of details after becoming the project manager, the first task you do is identify a stakeholder and prepare a stakeholder register by using power interest grid, salience models, by looking at their influences, how they can influence upward, downward, sidewards, and by checking their engagements with the help of SEAM, which is Stakeholder Engagement Assessment Matrix, that they are unaware, resistant, supportive, neutral, or leading. Once you have the commitment, then you will start planning for the project, which means you will be preparing the project management plan. When I say you will be preparing the project management plan, it doesn't mean you will be doing it. It means that you will be leading the team to prepare the project management plan. You will work with the stakeholders, you will work with the team to prepare project management plan, and you will prepare three baselines, which is scope baseline, schedule baseline, and cost baseline. And scope baseline is the only thing which contains scope statement plus WBS dictionary. Once we have all our baselines aligned, so based upon that, we will create performance measurement baselines, which will be given to the team, and team will be working in execution for producing the deliverable. For managing the issues, you will be managing the team and collecting the lesson learned in the lesson learned registry. All the changes will be done in monitoring and controlling by following the process integrated change control, which I explained earlier. When all the work is completed, so what we do the quality control where we get the deliverable verified from the third party, and if it is accepted, then we go to customer for validate or the sponsor for acceptance. Once accepted, then we start closing the. In what order we close the things? We close the project first, we close the phase first, we close the procurement first. Can you please type in the chat window what is the sequence we discussed? What we close first? Even if your answer is wrong, please type your answer in the chat window. Do not stop yourself from participating. It doesn't matter. There are no marks. I am not judging you on your questions. You will be judging yourself that where you stand. So please respond. You will not enjoy this session if you will not participate. Even if your answer is wrong, please respond. So first we go procurement, then we go phase, then we go project. So procurement first, then phase, and then project. And when we are closing, if we have claims, so we verify that these claims are aligned with the project. If yes, we close them. If not, then we send them for the claims administration. What are the claims? Constructive changes or contested changes, where you guys are not agreeing. When you guys are not agreeing and you want to settle down the things, and you have tried all conflict management techniques, then what is the next step? Normally we use compromises, right? The conflict management technique. And if conflict management techniques did not work, then what we do? We go for we try to use avoid, smooth, compromise, force, collaborate. Nothing worked. Then what is the next step you can use? Arbitration. Inviting a third party, they make the decisions and you have to follow. So this is the mediations or arbitrations. Now let's come to the agile part. That was the predictive project management. When it comes to agile, so agile is when we work with people. So what are the four, any one of you remember the 4 points of agile manifesto? If yes, can you please type it in the chat? And what are the four manifesto point? What is the first one? People and their interaction over process. Very good. Then people and their interactions and collaborations will be prepared over processes and tools. What was the second manifesto? Working software over comprehensive documentation. Number three, customer collaboration over contract negotiations. Respond to change, then following plan. Very good. So these are the four agile manifestos on which your project management for agile relies. And based upon those manifestos, we have 12 principles that customer satisfaction is important than following the processes and tools. Welcome change as early as possible instead of following the plan. Deliver the thing more frequently and in more smaller. So focus on MVPs or MBIs, minimum business increments. Work in collaboration with stakeholders. Work with motivated individuals, T-shaped people, self-organizing team. Face-to-face communication is preferred, which means interactive communication with face-to-face is preferred. That's why I always say when you guys are attending these sessions, please keep your cameras open so I can see and I can check your confidence level. We will measure with the working software, not with the documentations. And to measure, we use what tools we use? You guys remember? Instead of comprehensive documentation, how we measure? We use information radiators. And when we say information radiators, so we have burn up chart. Burn up chart shows how much work is remaining or completed. Burn up chart shows how much work is completed. Very good. Burn down chart shows how much work is remaining. Keep it simple and stupid, right? Use the KISS approach. No need to make bigger things. You have the vision, but try to go with smaller functions. Sustainable pace. This is what I have answered yesterday, and I think I have answered in last week more than 10 times to multiple students. That instead of keep doing the work, evaluate technical debts. If there are any technical debts, which means if there are any errors, we will fix them at the same time. We will not carry them with us. So if I have 12 tasks to be completed and I have four technical debts, so instead of completing 12, I will complete eight and I will complete four technical debts. We will not carry technical debts with us. That's what we call it sustainable development. And that's what I always say that when you're solving the questions, keep the principles in your mind so you can understand what you're doing, not judging the answer based upon their words. And when you are performing refactor, inspection, technical excellence, continuous attention, keep an eye on. So when you will solve the questions from domain, you will find these two very important and work with the self-organizing team and then regular reflection, which means in the retrospect meeting, if you need it, you should do it. As per Scrum, you must do it. But as per Agile, if it is needed, you can do it. Else, you can continue it. What questions we ask in retrospect meeting? Or what questions we discuss in retrospect meeting? What went well, we should continue working. What went good, do not mix it with the daily stand-up meeting. What went good, we should continue working. What didn't go good, you should stop working. And what new we can do to make it better. Technical debts are like if you're fixing some, if you are doing a new work and the work you have done, in that work there are some errors. So you know that these errors can be trouble, problem, impediment, obstacle, blocker later on. So we do not postpone it. We reduce our work and fix those problems. So we do not carry technical debts with us. We fix them at the same time. We don't want to do another project just for the technical debts or the problem. So fix the problem as they appear. Do not carry them with you. That is what technical debts. That is what we call it sustainable peace. It's not like I am driving. I am doing 100 story points per iteration. Out of 100 story points, 30% are errors. So it means you are not working at 100%. You are not supposed to, because you will keep carrying 30, 30, 30, and ultimately at the end of the project, you will have another backlog of technical debts. So we do not carry technical debts. We fix our problem. So when we are working, we fix those self instead of keep taking it. That okay, when I will repeat it, then I will fix it. So when we work with Agile, these are very common frameworks. So Scrum, we have time box iterations between 1 to 4 weeks. We have product backlog from where all the work will be taken. And we have a sprint backlog, or we call in Agile iteration backlog, which contains, so product backlog contains user stories. What sprint backlog contains? Product backlog contains user stories. What sprint backlog contains? Exactly. Tasks. In predictive, we call them activities. In adaptive, we call them tasks. We have a daily stand-up meeting where we do not discuss in detail, but we answer three questions to the project manager. What we did yesterday or in last 24 hours, what you will do today in next 24 hours, and what are our impediments, obstacles, blockers. Can you please write down what are impediments? Answer on the chat window. What are impediments? Which? slow down the progress, stop the work, or waiting because of external dependency. What is impediment? Impediments which hinders our work, so it means slow down. Obstacles should be avoided. What are obstacles? Impediments are like disagreements. Impediments are like prioritizations. Obstacles are that you are waiting for other teams. Then we have blockers because of any external dependency, external to the team. We are waiting. Similarly, we have review meeting, and review meeting is the only meeting where external stakeholders can work with the team, can provide their feedback. In retrospect meeting, we discuss continuous improvement based upon lesson learned. We have product owner, we have scrum master called as project manager, called as team lead, and in all type of names, the only thing is project manager does not give instructions but facilitate. So we call them servant leader. They perform servant leadership by facilitating. They do not give instructions because team is self-organizing. They can take their own decisions, set their own goals, review their performances, resolve their conflicts, find their new way of working. If they feel difficulty in doing that, you will be facilitating. So Scrum, we have iterations. XP, we have iterations. Kanban and SAFe, we do not have iterations normally. Instead, we work with the Kanban board, which is connected with the queue. So work is actually in the queue. Team will pull the work in the columns and then work accordingly. And project manager will keep an eye. So to limit the work in progress, to avoid bottlenecks, and with the help of governance can maintain the flow, that how much items can remain in how many columns for how much amount of time. So you don't need to wait for 2 weeks for your review meeting. If anything is done, put it in the done column. If it is accepted, it will be released and so on. So there are no iterations in on-demand scheduling or Kanban way of working. SAFe is enterprise level, which can have iteration as well as Kanban loops. So product owner collects a requirement or elicitate the requirement in the form of Apex. And Apex contains features, and features are delivered with the help of user stories, right? User stories are prioritized based upon customer based prioritization, or we can prioritize with the help of Moscow analysis, right? Must have, should have, could have, or won't have. Or we can perform can analysis, delighters, satisfiers, dissatisfiers, or indifferent. Or we can use pair comparisons, or we can use dot voting to prioritize the user stories. And the rule is same. The user story which have the highest return of investment and highest risk will be prioritized on the top. Product owner is the only one who can prioritize. Product owner can allow team members to add the user stories in product backlog. Team members or team lead can add the user stories in product backlog, but prioritization, reprioritization, grooming, updating the backlog is only and only product owner. These permissions cannot be delegated. Remember this. So sprint backlog or iteration backlog contains the task. We have daily stand-up meeting, which I already explained. We have review meeting and we have retrospect meeting. What we call that meeting where we discuss the work, commit the work, estimate the work. What is the name of that meeting? discuss work, estimate work, commit the work, set the goal of the upcoming iteration. What is that meeting called as? Exactly, planning meeting. And then we deliver the features in increments. If it is a Scrum, the increment iteration size will remain same. If it is different agile, so it could be one iteration 1 week, another iteration 2 weeks. But in a Scrum, it has to be same as always. So predictive is used when we have upfront. Agile is used when we have evolving requirement. Planning in the beginning. In Agile, we go with rolling wave planning or progressive elaboration. In predictive, we mostly have single final delivery. In Agile, we have incremental deliveries. In predictive, we have formal change control. In Agile, we respond to change as early as possible. Predictive have extensive upfront documentation. Agile says keep it as minimum as possible. Like, there are mandatory documentation that you have to do. We do not skip it, but we try to keep it as little as possible. Customer role defined at requirements. In Agile, it is engaging and interacting. In predictive, we do the upfront mitigations. In Agile, we don't know, so we manage them iterative with the help of Agile contractings. Team structure is hierarchy based in predictive, while Agile have self organized. So I have already given you these predictive, adaptive, and hybrid, and this is the slide which I sent you over the WhatsApp also. That in predictive, project manager have authority full. In hybrid, it could be moderate. In agile, almost to none. In predictive, project manager is commanding. In hybrid, coordinating. In agile, facilitating. Decision making is centralized. PM makes most decision based upon consultative leadership or directive leadership. In hybrid, it's like mixed. And in agile, team makes their decisions by working with the product backend. In predictive, it's detail oriented. In hybrid, it's adaptable based upon the system and vision. And in agile, it's based upon empathy, based upon emotional intelligence, based upon customer collaboration. In predictive, project manager is fully accountable. In hybrid, accountable for outcomes because we are delivering the value. And product owner is accountable in adaptive lifecycle or adaptive approach. So we work with the product owners. So that was the intro part of our principal base. So I hope it has given you some energy to remember. Let's finish the business environment because these are only 4 tasks, and then we'll take a 5 minutes break, and then ultimately we will go with the next domain like this. If you have any questions while I'm opening the slide, you can ask in the chat window as and we are going to share the screen. Let me give you a thought until you guys are thinking for your questions and responding to the in the chat window. The material you guys have or provided is more than enough. I will add these presentation instead of sending you individually. All of you have the access in the simulator, right? So I will add these slides in the simulations. In the resource tab, if you go there in the resource tab, you will find it there. So you can take it from there. But again, focus on solving the questions from the simulator. Let me ask you a very unusual question. What is the purpose of giving you the access on simulator? What you are trying to achieve with the help of simulator? Can you type it in the chat window, please? Why I have given you the access or why I've established the simulator? and I have added so many functionalities inside. What is the reason? Okay, real-time experience. What else? Practice, surely. That's why it is practice simulator. What else? So when you guys say practice simulator, finding your weaknesses. So yeah, these are all same points: progress measurement, weakness measurement. I have even included in last feature which everyone knows that if you are facing difficulties, so simulator will guide you that in which type of question you're spending more time and will give you the hint that this topic should be read. So I keep adding many features in the simulator. Almost I work along with my 8 hours of my work where I work, then I work 8 hours almost daily basis on the simulator all the time to add as many functionalities to support your practice. So the main purpose or the goal of simulation is to make you self-aware with the exam-based interface to let you practice the question in the required time. I have given you the pause facility, but it doesn't mean that you solve the full exams in pause. I just gave you full exam for pause because almost all of you are very busy. So I have added that functionality. Otherwise, full exam should not have pause button because you should learn to manage the time in 4 hours. You should practice your brain that it should work for 4 hours continuously. If you will pause the exam and if you will complete full exam by pausing, you will not achieve the benefits. So this is what like I can put it in my exclusion requirement that okay, any simulator is made in the world, it must not have pause button in the final exam. It must not have a study mode in final exam. Because if you will do the final exam with a study mode, it means you are memorizing the answers. Very simple. If you are pausing the simulator in exam mode, it means you are not practicing your brain for 4 hours, which is wrong again. So please finish your full exams. There are only 5 exams. You must complete it with 4 hours slot because in exam you will face a lot of heat. I'm giving you the not the threat, but like I'm properly giving you a warning. If you will not practice your brain to work for 4 hours, then your brain will not work. So please solve the questions in the 4 hours, 180 questions in 4 hours. That will give you enough energy to sit an exam. The shortest domain, so we can finish it as early as possible. That's why I added the principles of project management. So this domain of PMP exam business environment contains 8% of exam questions as of now, which is going to be increased from July. There are 4 tasks with enablers, and every project has some compliance related to that. So these are the 4 tasks: plan and manage project compliance, evaluate and deliver project benefits and value, which means work on prioritizations, which feature should be released as early as possible. Keep evaluating enterprise environmental factors. So in case of any external risk, internal risk, you can manage it. Keep supporting organizational change. Like you have seen, if you have practiced the question that organizations are going through with from predictive to agile or hybrid, and they're facing trouble. So support the change process. It's not like it's not your job, but yeah, you have the information, you have the knowledge. So foster the education. So there is a task. Now, what is the format? There is a task with an example, and then there are questions after it. So let's practice it. So please stay here and keep replying on the chat window. So plan and manage project compliance identifies which laws, standards, and policies apply, classify them, design controls, measure compliance continuously all the time. Non-compliance has cost, money, license, and reputation. So you have to follow the cost of conformance and cost of non-conformance features. What are the enablers? Confirm project compliance requirement, which is like any security, any health, any laws, any regulations. So de facto regulations, if you remember the quality chapter, de facto regulations, de jure regulations, standard laws, uh, their assessments, whatever is applied to them. Similarly, determine the potential threats, which means external risk. Use methods to support compliance, which means you can use past stability curve, VUCA, analyze the consequences of non-compliance and cost of non-conformance, and or what we call it, we can use Monte Carlo's analysis to understand how much contingencies and management reserves are needed to support our project. Determine necessary approach and actions like by doing the proactive risk management, like if you will not do this task, you will be fined for this much, or this project can be terminated, or this clause can be terminated. Measure the extent to which the project is in compliance. Like if you're working in health industry, so you have to follow a lot of compliance, like HIPAA compliance in US. We have GDPR in UK. We have PDPL in Saudi. We have copyrights in different parts of the world. So we need to be aware about those things. So memory hook, I have like asked to prepare the presentation in that format. You don't need to memorize it. I'm just giving the sequence of action. So sequence of actions are confirm what is applicable, classify in their categories like low, medium, and high. And if you remember, we in qualitative we use bubble chart, small, medium, large, very large to prioritize the risk. So that's how we prioritize the risk or we classify the risk as low, medium, and high. Now, in the same context, if you look in the example, a fintech project tags every user story with HIPAA and PCI DSS. PCI DSS is actually a framework, NIST framework for payment, like where organization accepts payments via cards. So this applies to it. And this is information related, GDPR and HIPAA. You cannot, by any means, information must not be disclosed to any until followed with the progressive frameworks. So understand and then find out what are the threats, what methods can be used. Like ChatGPT's type of tools or AI type of tools are not allowed in organizations until unless they sign an agreement, like SLAs are signed. So they have a SLA signed that their data will not be shared externally or how they are working because data is more important. So we need to check what compliance level is acceptable. Now let's go and check yourself at task one. So task one is halfway through build, you discover a regulation you missed. What will be your first move? Hide it from auditors and rescope quietly. Classify the gap, assess consequence, plan an action, then communicate. Halt the project, escalate to legal only. So correct answer is exactly B. Classify the gaps. Question number two. Compliance threats are best handled by annual audit only, continuous control, or sponsor sign off, or a binder at closure. So here again, correct answer is B. We do not go with these words as earlier we have discussed. And sponsors are not there for our support like this. They hired you to do the work. The PM role in compliance is to, I hope you are not, I hope you are not taking the approach that the longest answer is the correct answer. Don't go in that trap also. So luckily or unwillingly, all answers are going towards B. Cost of non-compliance includes, and these type of words will never be the correct answer. So yes, that is correct. Next, evaluate and deliver project benefits and value. So a project succeeds when benefits are realized, not when work is completed. If you complete the work, benefits are not realized, there is no benefit of doing the work. So define them, assign an owner, measure them after go live, communicate the progress so they can understand what is going on. Investigates that benefits are identified, what we are trying to achieve. If you are working in the project without goals, so there is no benefit of doing the project. And what you have analyzed, get the agreement. It's not like you assume by using. Do not assume anything by using. If you're assuming, you're destroying everything. So document agreement, verify you have the KPIs and OKRs set to measure them. Evaluate delivery options to demonstrate value like predictive, adaptive, or hybrid. Appraise the stakeholder of value gain progress, keep them engaged, use information radiators so they are aware of it. So in practice, as an example, a 6 month retention initiative ships and the team disbands. PM hands the benefit owner VP a dashboard with cohort retention. 6 months and benefit reviews shows plus 4.2% left, which means they have information radiators and they're looking. And in which direction? So continuous attraction and continuous collaboration is there. So find out who is the benefit owner, measure what we are going to and where we are. Like you can use any approach, PDCA, like plan, do, check, act, where you are standing. Deliver accordingly and appraise to the stakeholders. Let's go ahead and solve questions related to this task. Project ships on time. Sponsor declare success. What is missing? Project is completed. Celebration is done. Benefit realization is missing. Benefit ownership after closure should stay with the PM, transition to the operations, be the sponsor's problem, disappear with the team. You have to transfer or transition to the operations. Very good. A benefit realization plan should be exactly. So you prepare benefit realization plan on what basis? What document you need? To prepare benefit realization plan, what document should be needed? I'm expecting another answer actually. Business case plus benefits management plan. What I told you, even if your answer is wrong, please respond. Do not wait for others to answer. Number four, communicating values gain progress to stakeholder is how you communicate. You have to continuously communicate. And this is not sponsor's job. Very good. Next, evaluate and address external business environment changes, which is, as I told you earlier, keep looking at the external environment like regulations, economic conditions, geopolitical situations. Assess and prioritize backlog accordingly and recommend options for changes if there are any, but continuously keep doing it. Like new European Union Act drops mid project. PM convenes legal. Like I think if you have been following the European news, they are very strict in compliance and they keep releasing the compliance as they emerge. And organizations are bound to follow. One of them, the most popular one is iPhone charger. They said, no, all of you will go with the USB-C. We don't care that it's your monopoly or not. So to reduce the electrical waste and to unify the things that all companies who are working in European region, they must follow the USB-C charger and so on. So survey what is applicable and keep assessing all the time. Recommend approaches and keep living where we are. So a new regulation lands mid-project. What should be your first move? The first move will be keep surveying, keep assessing, and keep recommending. Very good. External environment monitoring should be, you already know the answer now after listening all the details. Exactly. Continues. A competitor releases a similar feature. What is your best response? Stick to plan, reevaluate, cancel project, match feature for feature. Exactly. Reevaluate. Geopolitical risk is part of external business environment monitoring. Very good. So support organizational change, like a project changes how people work. If organization isn't ready, the build doesn't land. Read culture, plan adaptation, and watch the project's impact on organization. Because when you're doing the project, we need to ensure that our organization remains safe from the risk. On the same token, if I can ask you the questions, if you are in the procurement part and if you want to save your organization from the risk, which type of contract will be used? What type of contracts will be used to save your organization from the risk? Fixed price, cost reimbursable, or time and material? Where the buyer is considered as safe and risk is towards seller, like this. Which type of contract is like this? Exactly. Firm fixed price or fixed price contracts. So new CRM rollout, PM partner with HR plus operations to map champions per region. Runs train the trainers 6 weeks pre-launch and tracks adoption by team. Go live week sees 78% adoptions, not 30% with the air of complaints. So we need to focus on technical debts also, but we should be releasing that because of that, what is happening. If I say we hire traders to deliver the tradings, which type of contracts are better? Cost reimbursable, fixed price, or time and material? Which are best suited for this type? Exactly. Time and material, where unit rates are defined. Very good. Next. Questions. Adoption of a new system is at 30% 3 months post launch. Likely costs. Why adoption rate is low? Because majority of you are working in Middle East, right? So in Middle East, ISO certification is very high. And all the ISO certifications you are following, they have one thing in common that what you are doing, it should be published. Everyone should have the same information. Everyone should speak the same language. So it means you are not communicating, and that's why when they do not know what they are doing, ultimately they will not perform accordingly. Assessing organizational culture is best done when as early as possible. Very good. Project to organization impact should be evaluated one way only, both ways, only at closure by HR alone. Very good. Best level for adoption is mandate from CEO, champions network plus training per measurement, more documentations or bigger launch event. It's not by only one thing. Surely it has to be there. It's not incorrect. This option is not incorrect, but B is better. So these were the four tasks of business involvement and the compliances you need to check if it is regulatory. So examples could be GDPR, HIPAA, SOX, FDA, federal requirements, contractual requirement based upon SLAs, customer agreements, industry standards like ISO, NIST, or could be your API standards and so on. Internal policies, your HR policy, code of conduct, non-disclosure agreement, health and safety like building codes, OSHA, safety, financial audits like we have in Saudi, we have SAMA and SEMA, or wherever you are, where applicable in US, we have IFRS or IRS. So when it comes to benefit realization, identify at initiation plan with the help of the business analyst, because who made the product, work with the team to build it, and deliver as planned, and ultimately post project review the ban. This part is actually newly inducted in PMBOK 8 that you'll be working for the value. For PMBOK 6 and 7, this is considered as like program level work because you are not responsible for the benefits after the project. So realize and sustain, this is program level thing normally. You can use prompt list. So this is called as prompt list, also called as another version of affinity diagram, where we classify the things into their categories or break down the structures. So they can use any of them. So you can use Pastel, TICOP, or Buka, whatever is applicable. Or in your OPAs, you can have your own risk registers or risk databases where you can have the records of those risks. We have ADKAR for change, awareness, desire, knowledge, ability, and reinforcement. that they need to understand the change. I have heard that ADKAR portion has started coming somehow. So because they were included in PMBOK 7 and surely in PMBOK 8 also. Let first bring the awareness of change, then let the people decide and work with them to bring the change, get the knowledge, collaborate how to bring the change, uh, give them the ownership, and ultimately sustain the change. So the things to remember, compliance is built in, not bolted in. Like you will not just take it, okay, yeah, we have the checklist. No, it has to be in your process. And to check the process compliance, which quality tool we use, that your process is compliant. Which quality tool is used to check the project compliance? There are 7 tools of quality, right? Flowchart, scatter diagram, fishbowl, histogram, tally sheets, Pareto chart. Which one I did not speak? Where we have the lower limit, upper limit, and mean. We call that control chart. Focus on outcomes, not only the output, to increase the benefits. Keep looking at the environment. Adopt as per the relevant standards. And it has to be bi-directional, not one directional. So this is what you need to read. I will upload this presentation in the resource part of the tab for simulator so you can access it. So you guys have been sitting from long time. Let's take a 10 minutes break and finish the process domain and then we'll go with the people team.